Good morning. 좋은 아침. Uh, today's podcast, doing it in English for Sam. Doing it in English, all for Sam Bankman-Fried. 오늘 방송은 영어로 할 거예요. 나중에 뽀글이가 이 방송 들을 거니까 걔가 한국말 못하니까 뭐 오해할까 봐 그런 것 때문에 제가 영어로 할게요, 오늘은. 그래서 뭐 영어 연습하고 싶은 사람들 계시면 뭐 알아서 잘 듣고 이 기사 보는 거 뭐 같이 보고 나중에 이따 이 뽀글이 얘기 끝나고 다시 이제 라이브 해석으로 바뀔 거니까 뭐 알아서 잘 해요, 우리 구독자들. I'm gonna do this thing in English. I normally do a live Korean English translate for my broadcasts. I'm gonna switch to the live Korean English translate a little bit later. The reason I'm gonna talk about Sam in English is I want him to understand the things that I say about him, so there's no confusion. Because I'll be looking at some of the interesting things that I saw happen this week, and a lot of it does directly involve Sam. So we'll do this baby in English for now. Okay, so this came out on the 18th. This kind of interesting came out. I was curious. I looked at why FTX is under investigation, right? It says that Texas was investigating FTX as to whether it offered unregistered securities, right? So the Texas State Securities Board. This is kind of similar to a lot of things that I'm seeing happening in a lot of jurisdictions, right? Everyone knows why Doe is wanted, right? He's wanted for the same exact thing, right? Doe, our own SEC, what we call it FSC. I think some of the people who watch my broadcast, you are well aware of the FSC now, right? The Korean Financial Services Commission or committee or whatever. They kind of have the same role as the SEC and similar bodies, right? So here's what came out. I think they should have filed right with the Texas SSB, but they didn't, and this caused some kind of investigation to be open. So I guess they're under investigation. The timing of all this does not surprise me. it, it really doesn't, right? Sam has been tweeting about this shit like the entire week, right? Now, I'll tell you what you should think about this, right? We are fucking retail investors who are investing couple thousand, maybe couple 10,000, maybe couple hundred thousands. Most of this shit like doesn't really care. This is all bigwig shit, right? I'll tell you why Sam cares though, right? Like this is like way above our pay grade for retail investors. But I'll tell you why Sam is concerned about this. Sam is concerned because he's concerned with his bottom line. This looks bad for FTX, and investors are going to get spooked, right? Because if they think that FTX gets sued, right, and they've been doing some shady shit, or they haven't been complying with legal, right, in U.S. jurisdictions, they get sued, right? Then obviously that's going to tie up a lot of resources over at FTX, right? So obviously, Sam, he does not like to see stuff like this coming out about FTX, right? It's not good for his bottom line. People are going to be spooked and pull out of FTT, right? They have no idea like how much of FTX's resources are tied up in the FTT token itself, things like that, right? No one really knows that kind of shit, right? No one knows exactly how much FTT, right? Sam holds, right? No one knows exactly what he does with it and how he trades it, right? It's all very opaque, right? So he does have like a stake in all of this, like a personal stake, right? Because his company's at risk, right? So he's got a stake in this whole thing, right? So it says, as more fully explained throughout this declaration, I am aware that FTX trading may be offering unregistered securities in the form of yield bearing accounts to residents of the US. I'm not in the US, right? I live in Korea, so the laws might be a little bit different in America, but this stuff is very highly regulated in America, as far as I know. And because of that, anytime you get on the wrong side of these regulators, apparently they fucking come down on you very hard. And it doesn't surprise me. I do remember seeing our prosecutor's office going to the US and speaking with the New York securities people, the whatever group they whatever body, the regulatory body they had up there in New York. And as what I know is that New York is very strict. It's the most strict when it comes to these kinds of regulations, right? So they were trying to get some kind of, I guess, universal, right, kind of stance on how crypto should be regulated, right? Both in Korea and America. So it doesn't really surprise me. If you've been paying attention to this stuff, I have been covering all this stuff on my channel, right? So I think my subscribers, they know what's going on. So it's not super surprising. But this particular FTX thing was surprising because no one really knew about this until recently, right? And then you saw what happened to the FTT token as a result of this, right? So I think some people definitely did get spooked. The token did go down, right? Everything in crypto went down really, but the FTT token, right, did suffer a little because of this, right? And apparently Sam is uh he has an address in America, right? I don't know, some or FTX trading, right? So these people in America, right? They're using FTX and they're based in the US. So if FTX is going to be operating right in the US, they will be subject to their jurisdiction, right? The Texas State Securities Board, right? So this is kind of like the first big thing that happened, and people were surprised about this, obviously, and that was a little surprising to me as well. And then a really interesting article that came out by Rect. This was very recent. This was just yesterday. This was the second big thing that came out. Rect HQ says after aggressively farming DeFi's most lucrative opportunities, FTX now SBF FTX now suggesting regulation for DeFi. And what happened? I'll go over this exchange later. So what happened with this? Apparently, there was some legislation or regulation that uh, the CFTC was considering, right, to regulate crypto. And Sam was supporting this piece of legislation, right? This DCCPA, right? And the DCCPA, I heard a couple people talking about this. I heard Gabriel. Gabriel said that it could be good for DeFi, but it's not 100% clear based because of the language. So if you look at what Gabriel was saying, that's what he was saying. But people are afraid, right, that this bill or whatever, this piece of legislation, is going to kill DeFi, and that's the main point, right? People are worried that this thing that Sam supports is going to kill DeFi. If you want to summarize this whole controversy in one sentence, that's the whole controversy. There's no reason to get into the nitty gritty of it, right? We're not fucking legal scholars. We're not fucking crypto lawyers, right? We just want to know what the controversy is about, right? So that's what the controversy is about. Will this bill that Sam supports kill DeFi? And the Rect article that I'm mentioning here, it's arguing that Sam, right, is supporting this for selfish reasons. That's the argument. He's trying to get very cozy with these regulators and uh put put these plans into motion that would protect his own position at the expense of the rest of DeFi, which will become completely subject to the whims of the CTFC, or whatever body, right, is in charge of this legislation, the DCCPA. And that's the gist of this article. Whilst the article does mention points as code of speech and non-policing validators, there are other ideas which threaten the whole concept of our decentralized industry. All front ends would need to become registered broker dealers with KYC obligations. So if you are trying to get US customers, you would have to follow certain regulatory guidelines, which would force these protocols or these founders, right, to follow whatever these regulatory bodies tell them, whatever rules that they institute. And that's the point. That's the point. They think that it's going to kill DeFi for these kinds of reasons, right? DeFi is supposed to be decentralized with and permissionless. But if you go KYC, now you don't really have DeFi. Now you just have some weird bastardization of DeFi. So you can go through this whole thing. I just summarized the basic idea, right? The basic criticism in this article, right? So Sam, he was able to benefit from all the crazy scams and weird techniques in DeFi to take your money. And now he's telling people, right, these regulators, we need to protect the consumers and not allow protocols that rely on these kinds of predatory tactics, right, uh, to be able to be used, right, by investors. Guys like you and me, retail, should not have access to these kinds of protocols to protect, right, for their own protection. So this was actually very similar to the whole Andre controversy. Andre from Yearn, or Iron, whatever. Andre, he said very similar things earlier this year, right? He said that there's going to be a need, there regulations necessary for DeFi, right, for consumer protection purposes. And a lot of people criticized Andre for the same reason that they criticize SBF now. They said Andre was very hypocritical. He cashed out after taking advantage of DeFi, and he cashed out, and then now he's saying DeFi has to be regulated. Sam kind of doing a very similar thing. Sam cashed out thanks to DeFi, right? He was able to use DeFi to add to his bags, and then now he's saying it's got to be regulated, right? So preventing other founders or other people in DeFi from having access to those kinds of yields or whatever, right? Opportunities people think there are in DeFi. And that's the point. That's the point of all of the controversy, these articles by Rect and people who are criticizing them on Twitter, right? And the reason that I even am doing this broadcast today is in response to all of this criticism. Did the DeFi community, CT came out really hard against Sam. And I was very surprised at how hard CT came out against Sam because of this. Uh, Everyone was talking about Sam and shitting on Sam because of this. And it was not just Ethereum people or people who are competing with Sam. It's like a lot of people, right, across the board, right, were shitting on Sam because of this, right? And there was a lot of controversy about this, right? So this Rect article, I think, was the 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 straw that broke the camel's back. After this thing came out, and I mean, this picture is so fucking funny. They're making Sam to be out like they're making him out to be like some kind of boogeyman of crypto. Like this guy, Sam's trying to kill crypto. But that's what the critics say. I'll tell you what I think after I summarize all this news. So people were criticizing him, and then I noticed like Sam was blocking fucking half of crypto Twitter. Sam blocked half of crypto Twitter, and I noticed, right, this is not cool, right? Because I don't like it when people block each other on crypto Twitter, right? I don't block anyone on crypto Twitter unless they're spammers. But it must have gotten so bad, the criticism of that SBF took, right? And people like taking sides. After people started taking sides after this article, the criticism must have been so deafening and so bad that Sam just started blocking everyone. He just started blocking everyone on crypto Twitter. Sam, if you hear this later, I have no idea if you know who I am or if you watch my broadcast or if you watch any of my videos, Sam. You got to stop blocking people, man. That shit is not cool. I don't like it when people block each other on crypto Twitter because they don't like to hear, right, opposing opinions, right? It's a sign of weakness to me, right? I don't fucking block people who criticize Solana. I don't block people who criticize me. Right? I don't give a shit, right? I let them say what they want. As long as not spam or it's not like revealing like personal info or like imminently I'm not put in imminent danger, right? I don't give a shit, right? I handle that shit, right? That's part of the game. If you're a public figure like Sam, I mean, you're gonna take the heat, right? That's just how it is, right? So Sam, you gotta stop blocking people, man. I don't like that shit. I will definitely go on the record and say that for sure. I don't like how you're blocking everyone. This bear market has been ridiculous when it comes to blocking people. Everyone on crypto Twitter is living in their own little filter bubble. They have their own little echo chamber. People now have no idea what's going on outside their little circles, and that is never good. Right? I follow a lot of Ethereum people. Right? I follow a lot of Bitcoin people. Obviously, right? I like Solana, right? So I follow mostly Solana people because I want to see if there's investment opportunities in Solana and share that stuff with my subscribers. But I still follow Bitcoin people. I still follow Ethereum people, right? I still follow a lot of people who don't like Solana and things that happen in Solana. But that's because I'm trying to make sure like I'm getting like all the different perspectives, right? I don't want to just fucking listen to Solana people because obviously that's not a good strategy if you're going to be investing in Solana, right? So if you're Sam, if you're out there and you're listening to this shit, don't fucking block people. Don't fucking block people, dude. You got to hear them out. You got to see what people are saying, right? Or at least have your FTX people like summarize the criticism about you, right? You got to know that you have to listen to your critics, right? Now, I will tell you my personal take. I'll tell you my personal take on all this, right? Uh, if you don't know, if you're new to Solana and you have no idea about the relationship between FTX and Solana, I'm sure a lot of new Solana investors won't really know the history or the exact relationship between FTX and Solana. It's very close entities, very close. FTX and Solana are very close. Solana was the first like L1 alt L1 that FTX supported, right? So how much of Solana's success was due to Sam, directly a result of Sam himself. A lot of our success was directly due to Sam, right? So I made this thread, right, to show the other side of the story. To be fair, obviously, he pumped a lot of our tokens. He did pump a lot of our tokens. He personally pumped Sol, Serum, and FTT. And this is all old news, right? But if you're new to Solana, saying you didn't know how close Solana is to FTX, it's very close. And not just in terms of Sam just pumping our coins, right? The actual social capital, the people who work at FTX and Alameda and the people who are associated with those groups. It's a revolving door with a lot of our projects in Solana and a lot of the people who are associated with Solana. I've gone over the revolving door. It's a literal revolving door. People, right? FTX and Solana. It's very close. Some people have been saying recently how Sam doesn't really talk about Solana anymore. He doesn't really support Solana anymore. There might be some truth to that. FTX Alameda, they probably dumped their Solana a long ass time ago. They probably dumped it like back during the bull run at like 200 plus. And I do think there is some truth to that. So if you're wondering like how much does Sam really support Solana these days, probably very little compared to when his bags were very heavy, obviously, right? He's going to be shilling his own bags, though. He's not going to be shilling Solana because that's not a big part of his portfolio anymore, right? That era of Solana is over, and I've said that for a while, right? Um, a lot of the VCs, they dumped their bags a long time ago, right? And that's how the game works, right? The VC support you up to a certain extent, and then it's up to you to, right, yeah, take that runway and see what you can do, right? And try to make something happen, right? So very close relationship between Solana and FTX, right? Sam also pumped Sol NFTs. Uh, he did it through a lot of the influencers, a lot of these Solana influencers, right? I don't know anything about Solana NFTs because I don't personally give a fuck about our NFTs, but I do know that he personally was responsible for a lot of the NFT hype, right? He has his influencers, FTX, Alameda, they have their influencers and they pumped their projects and drew a lot of attention to our NFTs, right? And so Sam was directly responsible, right, for our NFTs, right? And that's something that I've talked about in other videos, right? He also let people short, right, during the bear market, and there were some very obvious short opportunities during this bear market. You could have shorted lots of different tokens, and you could have made money doing that instead of trying to catch these bottoms and getting wrecked, right? There's lots of chances that you had, and Sam let you do that on his exchange, right? And then you can lend your USDC, right, for 2% on FTX. And then he got a Victoria's Secret supermodel to shill our bags, right? So he did some good things for Solana, right? I'm the first Solana YouTuber, so I always analyze things in crypto from a Solana investor's perspective, retail Solana investor's perspective. A lot of the money that went into Solana is directly related to Sam. We do owe some degree of our success to Sam, right? So as long as you rode the Soul Pump and then you made a little bit of money in Solana and you got out and you didn't do anything crazy, I don't think you can criticize Sam based on things that he did in Solana. That is 100% for sure. So I got to go on record about that, right? The things that he did in Solana, right? Most of it, right? If you were careful, right? If you're fucking careful, like I always tell you, if you're careful about how you invested in Solana, you did okay. You did okay thanks to Sam, right? So overall in Solana, I think he was a positive, but he did a lot of sketchy things that I personally was able to avoid most of the pitfalls, right, in investing in Solana. And if you did not listen, right, to me, or you did some risky shit and you got blown up and you were putting too much into our DeFi protocols or things like that, things that Sam supported through Alameda or whatever. FTX Alameda invested in a lot of our DeFi protocols, and a lot of those DeFi protocols, people lost a lot of fucking money in them, right? But I've told you for many years exactly what I think about our DeFi protocols, and I've shown you how much money I risk in these things, right? So I'm very cautious. I don't do anything fucking crazy with our protocols, right? So I haven't really taken any losses. And if you just followed my advice, if you literally just copied the exact amounts that I put into our protocols and how much I'm willing to risk in these protocols, things like Maple and whatever the fuck, you probably didn't lose too much money in absolute terms. And that's the most important thing, right? So if you took a lot of unnecessary risks and you used or you invested in Sam's protocols here in Solana, yeah, you probably fucking lost a lot of money, but that's on you, right? I've literally for 2 years I've shown you very, openly, very honestly, like how much I personally risk in all this shit, right? I view all this stuff as experimental stuff that it's fun toying around with, but you should not be putting serious amounts of money into this shit, right? Because things like fucking Mango happen, right? And I don't know what more I can do to help you invest in Solana than literally showing you, right, how I'm using all these protocols and how I view these protocols, right? So if you were not careful, yeah, you probably got wrecked, and you probably don't like Sam. And you think he was fucking running scams over here in Solana, but I mean, I can only speak for myself. I've tried my best to help people, right, invest in Solana, not get fucking wrecked, right, and fall for that shit. So hopefully you fucking learned your lesson if you didn't listen to me, and you got, if you think Sam's a fucking scam artist, I hope you don't feel that way. I try to guide people in Solana, right? If they're new to Solana and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, I try to show them, right, how to do it carefully, how to invest carefully. So hopefully you don't think, right, Sam is a scam artist, right? What I think Sam is, I think he's an opportunist, and he cares about his own bags, and he will do whatever it takes to maximize his own bags, right? He's going to act in his self-interest. He's competing, right, with Binance, right? At this point, right, in the game, it's just him. It's him and CZ, right? He's concerned with his bottom line. He's got an exchange on his shoulders. He's trying to curry favor with the regulators and get ahead of CZ, right, in this game, in the game of regulation. I think regulation is inevitable. I think everyone knows that. I've said it many times. I've tweeted it many times. I've told my subscribers what I think about regulation. So I think Sam, he realizes like regulation is inevitable. DeFi will be regulated, right? We will see a dual track in DeFi. We will see KYC DeFi and then non KYC DeFi. It's just 100% guaranteed, right? So I think I do agree with Sam that regulation is inevitable. It's just inevitable. It's fucking DeFi. It's what happened in TradFi. There will be a separate DeFi that's um, permissionless. It'll be just like regular DeFi, but there's gonna become a point where you're gonna see things like Pulse Dex, where you have to log into these KYC dexes and things like that, right? People want to make sure there's no fucking money laundering going on through these protocols, and there's legitimate concerns like that, right? And so far, DeFi has not been able to self-regulate or deal with these issues and address these issues, right, in a way that will, you know, satisfy regulators, right? And so the regulators stepped in, and so I think Sam knows that, and he's trying to stay one step ahead and of regulation, right, and try to influence it in his favor as much as he can. And he obviously has an exchange, right? So he's going to try to, support his companies and do whatever it takes to get FTX ahead of its competition, right? So there's nothing irrational about the way he's acting. It's completely rational. It makes complete sense from self-interest perspective. Sam's a smart guy. He'll do whatever it takes. He's ruthless. And I guess if you don't like permission DeFi and you think, right, he's trying to kill DeFi by making it, KYC, right? That's your opinion. I personally, I don't really give a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck? I don't care if I have to KYC. I've already KYC'd on PulseDex, right? I tweeted about, KYCing on PulseDex. So me personally, I don't give a fuck. But I think a lot of people in DeFi are very upset at that, right? But that's the inevitable, result. There's gonna be, right, permission DeFi. DeFi, right, will be regulated. There will be a permission DeFi. It's inevitable, right? That's just my opinion. All right, you can disagree. You can think that DeFi will just soldier on in the way it is now, but I disagree. I do think it's inevitable, right? There's just gonna there at a certain point. There's just gonna be too much money involved in this shit, and if you see shit like Terra Luna happen, and then you just times that by 10, it'll just be way more catastrophic than the Luna situation this year, right? So that's the bottom line. People are trying to prevent these fucking Luna blowups and things like that in DeFi, and look how bad the Luna contagion was. Now imagine Luna was 10 times bigger. It grew to 10 times its size, and then fucking that shit blew up, and then fucking Luna, something that was 10 times the size of Luna blows up, and then imagine how much worse that would have been for crypto, right? So it's not black and white. I mean, you gotta entertain multiple perspectives, right? So I definitely think SPF he did some sketchy ass shit, right, to load his bags, but I mean, I think some of the criticism is it just comes down to philosophical differences about what the future of DeFi should be, right? So that's just my personal view, right? 주성진 주성진님, 제가 하고 싶은 말 다 했으니까 우리 구독자들 생각 되게 궁금해요. I mean, that was just my take on the guy, right? And the controversy. So I am very curious about what people in Solana are thinking, right? Solana 투자자들이 이거 뽀글이 어떻게 생각하는지 되게 궁금해요. 뽀글이가 일부러 뭐 이 산업 이제 죽이려고 디파이 죽이려고 뭐 이런 규제 이제 이제 응원하는지, 아니면 뭐 실제로 이 디파이하고 크립토 이제 지원하려고 이런 짓 하는지 어떻게 생각하는지 되게 궁금해요. 뭐 우리 한국인 구독자들도 물론 이제 다 알고 있죠. 물론 저는 뭐 다 이제 저희 개인 의견 알려줬는데, 비트보이 화났던데 이유 알 수 있을까요? 코인베이스랑 쌤이 무엇을 잘못했던 건지. bitboy bitboy 같은 경우는 이제 제가 금방이 이제 이 규제 이제 만드는 중인데, 이제 bitboy 같은 경우는 이 뽀글이가 이런 규제 이제 만들 때 이제 FTX 편으로만 이제 챙겨주고 자기 거래소만 챙겨주고, 제 경쟁자들 이제 나쁘게 만들 거고, 이제 뭐 디파이 프로토콜들도 이제 힘들게 만들 거니까, 왜냐면 디파이 그냥 어떻게 보면 그냥 쉽게 설명하면 이제 탈중앙화 거래소랑 중앙화 거래소는 이제 직행 이제 경쟁자이잖아요. 그래서 이런 섹스가 덱스랑 이제 경쟁하고, 디파이가 조금 더 이제 힘들게 만들면 섹스한테 이제 더 좋죠. 만약에 규제를 그렇게 만들 거면, 뽀글이가 그런 이제 규제 만들 거면. 그래서 그런 법 뭐 만들면 이제 뭐 bitboy하고 뭐 근데 제일 어이없는 건 bitboy는 그냥 개소리밖에 안 해요 걔는. 걔는 유튜버인데 걔는 그냥 무시하면 돼요. 걔는 그냥 재미로 봐요. 걔 말하는 거 그냥 듣지 마세요. bitboy는 진짜 완전 그냥 사기꾼이에요 걔는. 빅보이 같은 경우는 걔는 인제 프로토콜 창립자들이 이제 뒷돈 주고 이제 bitboy 홍보해 줘 달라고 그냥 그런 이상한 새끼예요. bitboy 절대 믿지 마세요. 그냥 이제 일반인 편으로 이제 그렇게 그냥 하는 척이에요, 한마디로. 그래서 bitboy는 유튜버니까 큰 유튜브 계정 절대 믿지 마세요. I'm a fucking YouTuber, right? So I'm telling you this because I am a YouTuber, right? So I know how the YouTube game works, right? Bitboy is a fucking showfluencer through and through, 100%. Do not fucking listen to that guy. 저는 이제 저도 유튜버니까 물론 bitboy 이제 유튜버들이 어떻게 먹고 사는지 잘 아니까, 저희 같은 경우는 뒷돈 따로 안 받아요. 생각해 봐요. 저는 그 솔라나 엄청 이렇게 항상 그냥 24 시간 동안 비판하는데, 솔라나가 저한테 뭐 따로 뭐 뒷돈 줄 것 같아요? 당연히 따로 안 받죠 저는. 빅보이 같은 경우는 그냥 다 홍보해 줘요. 다 홍보해 줘요. 그래서 돈만 주면 그 새끼가 이제 홍보해 주고 먹고 사니까 빅보이 같은 경우는 뭐 자기 편인 척해도 그냥 무시하세요. 버크님, what do you think about this? 버크님 어떻게 생각해요? Is Sam a good guy or a bad guy? That's what I want to know, right? What are people thinking? 솔라나 사람들이 어떻게 생각하는지 궁금해요. 좋은 사람인지 나쁜 사람인지 궁금해요. What's the consensus, right? 김긍정. 오랜만에 김긍정 님도 보네요. 좋네요. 솔라나 안녕한가요? 요새 솔라나 어떻게 보시나요? 솔라나는 다 다른 코인들이랑 비슷비슷해요. It's just moving with the other majors. There's no major difference. 그냥 쉽게 설명하면 아무리 솔라나 가격 추치 봐도 다른 메이저랑 그냥 똑같이 움직이고 있고 별 볼 거 없어요 지금. 그러니까 하락세니까 뭐 안 올라가고 뭐 어쩔 수 없어요. 그냥 좋은 이제 가격으로 파악할 때 알아서 잘 투자하든가 알아서 잘 거래하세요. 아직도 제가 여기 이제 찍은데 여기에 있으니까 뭐 차트 분석할 필요 없다고 생각해요. Someone just asked me what I think about Solana itself. It's just following most of the majors, bear market, you know, price actions following everything else. I don't see anything special about Solana. Nothing really stands out about the price action. It's just following everything else in the market, right? 그냥 다른 메이저 다 그냥 비슷한 가격 조치 있어요, 지금. Um, I will tell you this though, if you want to get into Solana, you should probably start seeing, right, if you could get good prices, right? 정확히 여기 완바닥이 어디일 건지 그건 이제 잘 봐야 돼요. 어디까지 내려갈 건지 잘 모르겠으니까 어디까지 완바닥일 건지 그건 이제 잘 모르니까 만약에 솔라나 이제 다시 투자하고 싶으면 뭐 다 알아서 잘 파악해요. right? 이미 뭐 잠깐 뭐 분석했긴 했는데 이건 그냥 이제 지금만 보는 거고 뭐 장기로 보는 거 아니니까 네. I don't see anything special on the charts at all, right? We're just hanging around the last support. 그냥 마지막 큰 스포트에 깨서 그냥 비슷한 레인지에 있어. 여기 보면, right? This is just the last support, right? Nothing really special, right? Nothing surprising whatsoever. 뭐 별로 뭐 볼 것도 없어요, 차트. right? 아, 함께 공존해야 하는데 자기네들만 그릇 가져가는 그런 거군요. 솔란에서 일하던 사람들 앱토스 가서 재탕 설거지하러 간 것 같은데 맞아요. 맞아요. 그런 개발자들 몇 명이 이렇게 점점씩 지금 그런 거 봤어요 저도. 예를 들면 superposition. Um, so someone just asked me like someone commented he's seeing a lot of our devs moving over to Aptos, and it's very obvious why they're moving to Aptos. 어떤 솔라나 개발자들이 이제 뭐지 Aptos로 옮기는 거 뭐 봤다고 이 댓글 남겼는데 저도 많이 봤어요. 뭐 많이는 아니고 조금씩 이제 이런 팀이 있더라요. 예를 들면 이건 이제 해커톤 ignition 우승자인데 얘네들이 aptos로 갔어요. 이제 이유는 이제 걔네들이 이제 돈 물론 더 줄 거니까. 아 but 그렇지만 그런 거 뭐 봐도 거기에서 이제 개발하는 거 봐도 뭐 무조건 일반인 투자자들한테 뭐 좋은 거 나쁜 거 아니에요, aptos 투자자들한테. 왜냐면 우리 같은 경우는 이제 솔라나 투자한 사람 오래 오래 투자한 사람이니까 이런 창립자들이 뭐 다른 체인으로 가서 거기에 더 큰 돈 받으면 뭐 좋을 수도 있고 나쁠 수도 있죠. 물론 얘네들이 이제 그냥 돈만 가장 많이 이제 주는 사람들한테 가서 거기에 이제 뭐 홍보해 주고 뭐 그런 것 하고 나중에 일반인 투자자들이 뭐 다 뭐 망할 수도 있고 그래서 그런 가능성이 항상 있어요. 그래서 뭐 이건 뭐 각각 뭐 프로젝트 메리트 보고 진짜 뭐 앱도스로 옮겼어도 계속 이런 팀 이제 이런 창립자들 팔로우하고 투자해야 되는지 그건 다 이제 알아서 개인으로 파악해야 돼요. They moved over to Aptos, right? So I'm probably not going to cover them as much, right, as I would if they had stayed in Solana. But if you're interested in some of the protocols that move to Aptos, you can go over to Aptos and then check out Aptos. Obviously, it's a 뭐 우리 프로토콜들이 뭐 Aptos으로 옮긴 프로토콜 뭐 관심 있는 프로젝트 있었으면 물론 이제 Aptos 생태계에 가서 뭐 거기에서 뭐 공부할 수 있죠. 그건 뭐 다 제 개인으로 알아서 연구해야죠. 저희 같은 경우는 뭐 솔라나 프로젝트만 이제 홍보해 주고 솔라나만 이제 투자하려고 하니까 뭐 저는 굳이 뭐 다른 생태계 뭐 공부할 필요 없다고 생각해요. It's not worth it for me to study, right, these other ecosystems, right? I've already accrued too much knowledge in Solana, so I just want to keep my, you know, specialization, right? So it's just easier for me. 저는 이제 솔라나 전문가니까 뭐 솔라나 여기 경험 많이 쌓고 우리 팀 잘 아니까 굳이 다른 체인 가서 뭐 공부할 필요 없다고 생각해요. I mean, fucking Aptos doesn't fucking pay me to promote their project, so no fucking way I'm gonna be promoting Aptos projects. 뭐 제가 Aptos 프로젝트 홍보해 주고 싶어도 걔네들이 저한테 뭐 돈 안 주면 뭐 굳이 뭐 홍보할 필요 없죠. 오프라인 행사 올해 좀 많았는데 좀 다니셨나요? 솔라나 오프라인 행사? 어떤 행사요? What's been happening offline in Solana? Solana Spaces store? 그 Solana Solana 가게 열었던 거? 그 말씀이에요? Solana Spaces 가게? That shit is like in fucking Miami. 그건 마이애미하고 뉴욕에 있으니까 뭐 한국에 뭐 행사 뭐 그런 거 많이 없는 것 같은데요. Hackathon. Oh. Solana hackathons? I mean, I can't really travel right outside of Korea. 저는 여행 못 가니까 해외여행 못 불가능하니까 저는 못 가는데 뭐 우리 구독자들이 뭐 가면 뭐 좋죠. If my subscribers were able to go, good for you, right? You can go to these hackathons, right? But no, I haven't gone to any of these hackathons. 저희 같은 경우는 이런 뭐 오프라인 행사 같은 거 참가 안 했어요. Adam Cosmos 아시나요? 혹시 아시다면 어떻게 보시는지 궁금합니다. I don't know anything about what the fuck is going over in Aptos or sorry, Cosmos. Cosmos 생태계 전혀 몰라요. The only thing I know is that I was talking about shorting Cosmos. shorting Adam. Cosmos Cosmos 생태계 아무것도 모르는데 제가 옛날에 이거 short 기회 있다고 그것만 이제 트윗했었어요. So I did short it wasn't like a big short, right? But I did mention that I was shorting Adam. 그 뭐 큰 쇼트 같은 거 아니었는데 제가 몇 개월 전에 이거 뭐 그 아담 토큰 자체 뭐 short 기회 있는 것 같다고 제가 이거 트윗했는데 that's just about the token itself. 그건 뭐 이 아담 토큰 자체이고 so this was when it was around like 16 when I was talking about shorting it. 한 16불에 제가 이거 이제 뭐 short 기회 느낀다고 이제 말씀했는데 현재 가격은 뭐지? 한 12까지 내려갔죠. Let me see exactly how much it went down. 정확히 아담이 얼마나 내려간지 볼게요. Let's see exactly where I tweeted this. 제가 제가 이 short tweet 언제 했는지 한번 볼게요. Let me see. Yeah. So I tweet. This is fucking hilarious. 개웃겨 이거. I was talking about shorting Adam. Adam literally at the fucking Pico top. 완전 꼭대기에서 제가 이 트윗 했었을 때 이제 숏 기회 있다고 이제 분명히 말씀했는데 이때 뭐 쪼끔이라도 숏 쳤으면 충분히 돈 벌었어요. I mean, like, it's hard, right? It's hard to see these kinds of opportunities if you're not paying attention to crypto. 이런 뭐 하락세에서도 이런 이제 기회 찾기가 조금 어렵지만 uh, I try to find very obvious short opportunities. 완전 뻔한 이제 short 기회 있을 때 개인 의견 이제 알려주고 뭐 여기 내려갔을 때 뭐 short 안 쳤으면 뭐 아쉽고. If you didn't short anywhere down here, these were all good short opportunities. So what do I think about Adam? 그래서 이 Cosmos 어떻게 생각하는지 궁금하면 token short 기회가 있었어요. You could have shorted Adam, but I don't know anything aside from that in the ecosystem that's worth investing in. 이거 떠나서 뭐 따로 이 Cosmos에 뭐 좋은 프로젝트 뭐인지 전혀 몰라요. So Cosmos 이 생태계 뭐 궁금한 건 전 진짜 뭐 도움이 안 돼요. I am the last person you want to ask for advice in Cosmos. I have no idea what happens in Cosmos. Cosmos and 무슨 일 있는지 전혀 몰라요. But you could have shorted Adam. 그렇지만 이제 Adam short 칠 수 있었어요 여기. It's fucking hilarious, right? 개웃겨요 타이밍 보면. 뒷광고하는 앰베서더나 인플루언서에 대해 어떻게 생각하시나요? 김긍정님, 저는 그냥 솔직하면 아무 문제 없다고 생각해요. 예를 들면 저희 같은 분은 우리 구독자들은 제 말 듣는 이유는 되게 쉬워요. Someone just asked me, what do I think about crypto influencers, right? What do I think about crypto influencers and getting uh, and how they're paid, right, to promote projects and things like that? You have to be 100% transparent, and that's the bottom line. 무조건 100% 솔직한 필요해요. 인플루언서 할 거면. 그래서 우리 구독자들은 저 잘 알아요. My subscribers know me very well. I've told them my story, how I started this channel. 이 채널 어떻게 시작한지 우리 구독자는 잘 알아요. But if you don't know the story behind my channel, you're a more recent follower. I will remind you guys, right, how I got started in this game, right? 최근에 뭐 구독하는 사람들 아니면 뭐 저 채널 아직 잘 모르는 사람도 있으면 이거 제가 어떻게 시작했는지 다시 알려줄게요. 설명해 줄게요. 처음에는 제가 이 솔라나 그 앰베서더 되기 전에 저는 100% 독립 채널이었어요. 그건 이제 꼭 알아야 돼요. 그래서 항상 똑같이 말해요. 저는 이제 첫 일부터 커뮤니티에서 온 사람이었다고. So the people who don't know, when I started this channel, Solana, I had no official involvement, no direct involvement with Solana whatsoever. There's no direct connection between me and Solana. 이제 Solana랑 저랑 아무 관련이 없었어요. 그건 꼭 알아야 돼요. Right? When I started this channel, this was the first video I uploaded. 제가 이 채널 시작했고 첫 동영상 올렸을 때 Solana랑 아무 관련이 없었어요. This is just I got this tip from a friend. Right? 제가 이제 아는 친구가 저한테 팁 주고 솔라나 좋은 기회라고 그거 듣고 걔는 크립토에 투자한 사람 오래된 사람이니까 그 사람 말 믿고 이제 솔라나 투자한 거예요. 제가. I had a friend, right, who was a very early investor in Ethereum and in crypto, and he told me about Solana. He said it was going to be a good opportunity, so I jumped on it, and so I started this thing. No one fucking knew who I was. 제가 이 동영상 올렸을 때 이 채널 사람들 저 누구인지 아무도 몰랐어요. Nobody fucking knew. But I did get into Solana pretty early. 그렇지만 물론 이제 이 동영상 보면 제가 꽤 일찍 Solana 들어간 사람이에요. I got in way before the hype, way before anyone knew about Solana. 사람들이 Solana 어떤 코인이었는지 그 전에 훨씬 전에 제가 알고 있었어요. 조금 일찍 들어간 사람이고. But until I became a Solana Korea ambassador, right, there was no interest in this channel whatsoever. 제가 Solana ambassador 되기 전까지는 아무 관심이 없었어요, 이 채널에. 그건 꼭 알아야 돼요. 그래서 Solana ambassador 되고 나서 그 이후로는 Solana랑 이제 동업하게 됐는데 뭐 지금 같은 경우는 뭐 따로 걔네들 저랑 뭐 아무 뭐 관련이 없어요. 아무 관심이 없어 Solana가. There's no interest, right? Solana has no interest in this channel currently, right? I am an ambassador, right? But there's no financial interest in this channel. 다른 뭐 관심이 없어 이 채널에. Uh, I was 100% transparent when I told people when I sold. 게다가 제가 Solana 나갔을 때 분명히 제가 말씀했어요. 분명히 말씀했어요. 100% 이제 투명성 제가 언제 뺐는지 마지막 거래했는지 다 솔직히 말했어요. 이것 때문에 사람들이 제 말 듣는 거예요. Solana ambassador이었어도 우리 구독자들한테 되게 솔직하게 나는 나왔어. 나는 이제 위험성 조금 느꼈으니까 나는 나왔고 분명히 말했어요. 그리고 이제 이 크립토 하락세 또 미리 준비하라고 분명히 말했어. 특히 이때는 사람들이 전혀 이런 생각 안 했었어, 솔라나에. 저만 믿어요. 우리 오래된 우리 단골은 다 기억해요. 이때 다 신나고 다 솔라나 계속 올라와서 뭐 기록갱신 맨날 기록갱신하고 사람들이 엄청 관심이 있었어요, 솔라나. 근데 저는 되게 혼자서 되게 이제 진심으로 이런 말 많이 했어요. 이제 조심하라고. 물론 물론 솔라나 위 사람들이 이런 말 듣고 되게 싫어했겠죠. 근데 저는 우리 구독자들이 먼저니까 저는 무조건 솔직하게 얘기했었어요. Uh, despite me being a Solana ambassador, right? Solana hated me for this. They never forgave me after this, right? After I told them that I sold, after I told them, right, probably there's going to be a bear market, right? They never fucking forgave me, right, about this, right? But again, my loyalties are not right to Solana, right? I'm someone who started in the community and I'll always act in the interest of the Solana community. 예, 근데 저희 이제 첫 일부터 제가 이제 커뮤니티에서 온 사람 이제 우리 구독자들 잘 알고 제가 왜 이런 이제 행동하는지 이런 이제 올바른 행동하는지 우리 구독자들 잘 알아요. 그거 하나 때문에 우리 구독자들이 제 말 듣는 거예요. 저는 이렇게 진짜 솔직히 행동했으니까 지금까지. 그냥 무조건 솔직히 행동했었어요. 그래서 뭐 소울라이즈도 물론 저랑 이제 어 어 제가 소울라이즈 공식적으로 추천했는데 제가 정확히 소울라이즈 아이디어 참가할 때 얼마 이제 투자했는지 그리고 제가 소울라이즈도 언제 뺐는지 그것도 다 솔직히 말했었어요. 그 솔라나 프로젝트 딱 하나만 이제 공식적으로 추천했었으니까. 제가 이제 공식적으로 추천하면 제가 이제 책임져야 되니까. 그래서 뭐 인플루언서들이 뭐 그런 뭐 돈 받아도 따로 뭐 걔네들이 이제 홍보비 뭐 따로 받고 뭐 그런 거 해도 근데 솔직하게 해야 돼요, 그런 거 하면 저처럼. 근데 이제 유튜버들은 99% 저처럼 행동 안 해요, 절대. 진짜 그건 사실이에요. People keep on asking me, right, what do I think about these influencers? I've been very honest in the way I conduct myself, right? I've always put I've always put my subscribers, right, before everyone else, and my loyalties lie with my subscribers. I'm very honest, right? And you can see, right, when I've officially endorsed projects, I told people exactly, right, how much I got, right, as part of the IDO, and then I told people exactly when I sold. if you had followed my instructions to a T, right, it would have been very hard to lose money in Solana. 진짜 100% 완벽하게 제 말 이제 솔라나 투자 추천했었을 때 완벽하게 지켰으면 뭐 거의 돈 안 깼어요, 솔라나 투자하면서. 왜냐면 솔라이즈 같은 경우도 제가 이제 충분히 이제 제가 마지막 이제 제일 늦게 뺐어요, 제가. I waited for a very long time. I was very patient before I pulled out of Solrise, right? And technically, I even still have some like staked in Solrise. 뭐 어떻게 보면 제가 Solrise staking 아직도 지금 Solrise staking 중 어느 정도 아직도 staking 중이에요. 이 Solrise 다는 안 팔았어요. I do still have some solar. Technically, I have some Solrise staked, right? So technically, I didn't even sell like 100% of my Solrise when I sold it, right? So as long as influencers are 100% transparent, but that is never the fucking case, right? With these influencers, influencer들이 100% 투명성이 없으니까 투명하지 않으니까 어, 거의 싫어요. 그 유튜버들 중에 인플루언서들 중에 199% 싫어요. 저희 같은 경우는. It's based on those facts about influencers in crypto. I dislike 99% of influencers. I really do. 진심으로 제가 인플루언서들 싫어요. All the money I'm making crypto now, 제가 이제 크립토에 돈 버는 건 다 제가 알아서 거래하고 뭐 알아서 제가 벌어요. I don't depend on Solana to pay me anything. Solana 저한테 따로 돈 하나도 안 줘. Solana doesn't fucking do anything for me. I just promote Solana in the way I want to promote it. 제가 이제 저희 방식으로 제가 원하는 대로 이제 Solana 이제 홍보해 줘요. Solana가 뭐 따로 뭐 나한테 뭐 시키는 것도 없고 뭐 돈 주는 거 뭐 따로 없고. 그래서 100% independent. 100% 독립 채널이에요. If you're curious, right? If you're curious. 만약에 궁금했으면. 음. 와 엄청 떨어졌었네요. 아 네. Adam chart. I mean it's crypto. 뭐 크립토니까 뭐 나중에 뭐 Adam 뭐 올라가는지 뭐 어떻게 알아요? It could go up, right? It could fucking go back up to $15 in 6 months. 뭐 6개월 뒤에 뭐 다시 Adam이 뭐 15불 다시 올라갈 수 있어. No one fucking knows exactly what's happening with Adam. 뭐 Adam 뭐 정확히 어떻게 될 건지 뭐 누가 알아요? Nobody knows. 전혀 예상을 못 해요. 네. But I'm curious. Let me just see exactly how much it went down. 그냥 궁금해서 잠깐 정확히 얼마나 내려가는지 볼게요. 저도 조금 궁금하니까. I didn't fucking hold the short down to here obviously. Short 쳤어도 여기까지 holding 안 했어요. But let me just see exactly how much it went down. So we'll go from like 16 뭐 16, 17로 찍고 지금은 minus 30, you know. So it went down 30% from 16. I mean, though obviously there were a lot of short opportunities there. 물론 뭐 숏 기회 많았어요. 만약에 Adam short 쳤으면. Interesting. 재밌네요. 아니 서울가스토니 말고 타 유튜버들 무분별한 광고 표기 없는 업계 홍보에 대해 어떻게 생각하시는지 여쭤봐. 뭐 이미 알죠. 저희 생각. 싫죠, 그런 거. If they're like doing this kind of sketchy ass promotions and shit like that, I don't like that shit, right? If they have financial interest in their channel that they don't disclose, I don't like that shit. 유튜버들이 뭐 자기 채널에 뭐 다른 뭐 관심 같은 거 이제 있는데 그런 거 뭐 공개 안 하면 물론 싫어하죠. 이제 홍보해 줄 때 이제 올바르게 홍보해 줘야 돼요. 아 I mean, I want all influencers to tell their subscribers exactly when they sell too, but no fucking influencers do that. 인플루언서들이 자기 가방 언제 파는지 그런 거 이제 공개 안 하니까 그것도 되게 싫어요. I don't like it. That I don't like that influencers they fucking do that kind of shit, right? 자기 구독자들한테 다 덤핑하고 뭐 그런 거 되게 싫어요. Right? I don't like that shit. Okay. I don't see any Solana news 다른 솔라나 소식이 없으니까 let's see what's going on. 무슨 말인지 한번 볼게요. Yeah, I don't see any Solana news. 뭐 다른 큰 Solana 소식이 없으니까 keep definitely you do definitely want. I will tell you this before I go. 이 방송 정리할 때 끝나기 전에 이거 말할게요. 이거 꼭 봐야 돼요. You have to see exactly what's going to happen to DeFi and what these regulations are going to look like. The 100% the regulations are coming. I've been saying this for a long time. So just pay close attention, right? You want to see exactly what will be affected in crypto, right? When these regulations are rolled out. 이런 법이 지금 이제 만드는 중이니까 무조건 이런 규제가 이제 생길 거예요. 그래서 정확히 이 규제들이 이제 나오면 이 크립토에 이제 뭐 어떻게 되는지 그거 이제 다 이제 잘 봐야 돼요. 크립토 투자할 거면. If you're gonna invest in crypto, 100% you gotta see exactly what's gonna happen to your projects, right? Because you're fucking putting your money into this shit, right? So keep up with this, right? Keep up with Sam, whatever the fuck he says. Obviously, he's gonna have a big influence in this. 물론 뽀글이도 이제 힘이 좀 있으니까 이제 뭐 이 정치 사람들이랑 얘기하면서 뭐 얘가 이제 뭐 얘 말씀도 많이 듣겠죠. 그래서 잘 이제 잘 소식 보고 예, 잘 지켜보세요. That's it for me. It's the weekend. Get off Twitter. Go live your life. Enjoy the weekend. 트위터 집착하지 말고 주말 잘 보내세요. That's it for me. Thank you for the people who came out. 뭐 나온 분들 너무 감사해요. I'm out. See you guys next time. 다음에 봬요. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone.